It is. All right, let me see here. All right, what's up, everybody? It's your good old boy JR coming to you live from Las Vegas, Nevada. As always, I got my brother here, Brandon, from the Brandon Janot Show. Brandon, we made it. We made it. The last pick. Here we are. Started this back in March. It is now April 22nd. We made it, man. How you feeling?
Well, my phone holder just kind of died on me, but other than that, I'm pretty good.
Well, before we do begin, I do want to thank you, for doing this with me this year. It was a lot of fun, a lot of laughs, a lot of seriousness, mostly laughs,
Mostly
mostly
that.
laughs. And, it's so good to see, two people with two different minds of the game to see how we value these prospects every year differently. And I think that's what makes it awesome. So I want to thank you. I also do want to thank everybody that is tuning in here on Instagram Live, on YouTube Live, on the YouTube channel, from Michael, my brother, a bunch of other people that I can name right now, Danny, sister-in-law, just a bunch of people. Here we go. And yep, Danny, let's go Rams. Today, you are correct. It is going to be about the Rams today. It's going to be awesome. So here we go, But I want to give out a big shout out and thank you to everybody that made this season such a success. So today is the final single selection. Sunday, we have our super mock draft show, and it's going to involve moi, the ultimate mock draft expert, or so I like to think. It's also going to involve my good old pal right here that's been with me for every single episode, Mr. Brandon. And it's also going to involve two people who we are really cool with. The first one is EJ from the MFN EJ podcast. And we're also going to have Nick and Noah from the Pick Six podcast. So it's going to just be an amazing show on Sunday. We're going to do our selections, our last and final mock draft. And then this is on the, personal one for me. On Wednesday, me and my brother, we are going to do a special Silver and Bro show, 2022 mock draft special. So we're going to predict on what the Raiders are going to do this year. How do we feel about not having us a first and second? You already know how I feel. Okay with it? All right, I already know who's on that selection. I already know who's on that card. I'm good. I'm okay. But me and my brother, we're going to try to figure out what the Raiders are going to do rounds 3 to 7. So it's going to be exciting. So all you Raider Nation will be here Wednesday, same time, same place, and everything. So it's all good. It's all good. But let's get to it. Today we have the Lions are on the clock. But before we get there, we got to talk about one more team. The team that won it all. The Los Angeles Rams are the defending Super Bowl champions of the National Football League. And this really started kicking off last year in free agency, where they made the trade. Basically, let's put it this way. The Rams said, you can have Jared Goff, and to show you we're serious about you can having Jared Goff, I'll give you 2 first-rounders in exchange for Matthew Stafford. And you know what, Danny? We'll get to it. How confident are we? We'll get to that in a minute. About running it back, we'll see. We'll see. But here we are. They did their drafting. They did everything. It was just a season of how did they pull this off? How did they pull this guy away? How did they sign this guy? How did they do it? And you know what? Like Lee Smith said, F them picks, man. F them picks. All right? It is what it is. But you know what? It's time. After finishing with the 12-5 record, number 1 in the NFC West, which is the defending, or which is kind of the hardest division in football, as some people say, there is. They tied with Cincinnati with the 7th best offense in the league, if you want to believe that. And the 15th, believe it or not, even with Aaron Donald there, their defense was middle of the pack this year, which is kind of very strange to say. Yeah, they they held the points and they held the passing, but I think where they really got gashed on was
He's
they were
running.
worst run defenses in the
Running.
NFL. And it happens, because there's not a lot of beef up front. Mainly their focus is to get to the quarterbacks. And Julian, thank you so much for the love, my man. I can't wait to see you Wednesday, my man. And it's just very weird. It was just a very weird thing to say, but I want to go a little bit more in depth of that. Let me just show you how deep and talented this Los Angeles Ram team is. Second round, pick 57. They went with the ever so electric wide receiver, Tutu Atwell, the wide receiver out of Louisville. Only played in 8 games, and there's a good reason for it. There is a very, very good reason for it. Because at the beginning of the season, they had, Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, Van Jefferson, and Deshaun Jackson. Well, that's already 4 people that needs to get their receptions in, especially Mr. Cooper Kupp. And don't forget about Tyler Higbee, a very underrated tight end. So there wasn't going to be a lot of, receptions for the guy. Then Robert Woods goes down. Deshaun Jackson gets traded. How did they fix it? Do you think they were going to trust a second rounder rookie? Nah. They got OBJ from the Browns. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. You get released and you sign Odell Beckham Jr. All right, to that 1-year deal. Like they needed any more wide receiver help. They got it. All right. And here's the thing. He only played in 8 games. Tutu Atwell only played in 8 games. 54 punt return yards and 87 kick return yards. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. When you're so buried in the depth chart in that wide receiver room, you are not going to get anything your way. So you better contribute on special teams. And that's exactly what he did. Third round, pick 103, Ernest Jones, the linebacker out of South Carolina. He ended up starting for him, believe it or not. He ended up starting, and he had a good rookie campaign, 61 tackles, a sack, 2 interceptions, and 4 pass deflections. It was a very good rookie campaign for this guy, and we'll see how he extends now that Bobby Wagner is part of that team. Fourth round, 117, Bobby Brown, the defensive tackle out of Texas A&M. Nah, man. Listen, man. Gaines and Aaron Donald are your defensive tackles for a reason. 1 tackle in only 10 games. It is what it is. I mean, that's the best way I could put it. It is what it is.
I'm sure he got 10 games. That's amazing.
I mean, he was there for 10 games, but mostly as a blocker for the kick return, for all that, for the extra point and stuff. But it is what it is. Pick number 130, Robert Rochelle, the cornerback out of Central Arkansas. 14 tackles, 1 fumble recovery, 1 interception, 4 pass deflections. Listen, when you have, that defense, it's put it this way, it's going to be very hard for you to get snaps, especially if you're a late round pick. So you might as well just contribute on the special teams. And that's what he did. And when he did get a chance, he got that 1 interception and it was all good. 11 picks later at 141, Jacob Harris. So he was drafted. He was coming out of the draft class as a wide receiver out of UCF. They actually switched him to tight end because of his combine numbers. And, they kind of said, hey, look, man, I do not think if you want to make this team, I do not think that you could be wide receiver here. And why would, Sean McVay lie to him? Look who he had prior and during the season. He wasn't going to get a lot of snaps, and he still didn't even get up in a lot of snaps. He ended up being the 4th string tight end. Now let's see if that extra offseason, extra weight room sessions and everything, let's see if he could snap the team next year. Pick 174, Ernest Brown, defensive end out of Northwestern. Another, hey, man, there's just not enough snaps for you. Healthy scratch. So we'll see how that affects his thing next year, especially with the depth of this defense. We'll see how that goes. Jake Funk, the next first 7th round pick, Jake Funk, running back out of Maryland. He only had 5 rushing yards the whole year. 5. You got to remember, it wasn't going to be easy for him to make the team. For the fact that he made the team is impressive alone. It was impressive alone that he made the team. And he did contribute on special teams, 88 kick return yards. He also did have 2 tackles on special teams. He only played in 10 games. And, once they got Sony Michel, it was kind of like, hey, man, just we'll get back to you next year. We'll get to you. Then pick number 249, Ben Skowronek, or Skowronek, if I said that right, the wide receiver out of Notre Dame. Listen, man, 11 receptions, 133 yards, 70 kick return yards, and 8 tackles. That was a stat line. Remember, they went heavy on the wide receiver because they must have known something was up. They must have known that Deshaun was not going to be there next year. OBJ might not even be back next year. And Robert Woods just got traded to Tennessee.
Yeah. I think at that time, Robert Woods' contract was coming up, so you probably wasn't going to pay him regardless. So you probably was like, we got to think of something.
And I do not mind them going double dipping, on wide receivers. I really don't. No, they triple dipped, but they turned one of them into a tight end because he just was not going to make it at the wide receiver position. And then last but not least, Chris Garrett, the linebacker. If you could tell me where he went, go ahead and tell me where do you think he went, Mr. Chris Garrett.
Oh my God. USC.
It was a very popular name because of the school he went to. Because it was the first time a player ever got drafted out of this school.
Oh God, I could be in a damn school in D1.
What's up, Steve? What's up, Danny? Yeah, you give up?
Yeah, I tap.
Concordia University, St. Paul, Minnesota. One Mr. Chris Garrett.
Okay, clearly he didn't make the team.
He did not. He was a healthy scratch. He made the team. He did make the roster, but he was a healthy scratch just for emergency backup. But obviously, he did not make one. He's just an emergency backup player. He was a healthy scratch. And listen, man, when you're coming from Concordia University, St. Paul, Minnesota, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Steve, Brandon is on the YouTube show, but you can hear him. He's a pretty loud cat, so you can hear him still. Now, other than that, Brandon, go ahead, man. Give me your best words. The best way to describe this Rams season.
Open salary cap. I don't know who the hell got this money. They got money stashed somewhere. I don't know where the hell they got money buried, but they got some money buried somewhere. I don't know if they on like some ancient Indian treasure chest. They just don't want to tell nobody. They got some money buried somewhere. There's nowhere in hell that they had that much cap space when Odell Beckham Jr. and Von Miller both just fell out of nowhere, was free agents, and you just picked them up out of nowhere. Who has that money?
You know what? That's the beauty of veteran minimum contracts, my man. That's just the beauty of it.
Yeah, I guess so.
I will say this, though. I think for me, the best way to describe the Rams was OP, man. They were just overpowering everybody. They were overpowering everybody except one.
I was just about to say that, but okay.
Yeah, okay, except one. But they did get him back. They did get him back in the most important game of their life.
Barely, but yeah, they got him back.
Barely, yes, but understand what the Rams were. They just constantly won, but there was just this one team that just was a side of their thorn, man.
Pawn Star Jimmy.
Okay, the San Francisco 49ers. They, for whatever reason, the Rams just could not beat these guys.
Listen, Steve, my guy, I can never forgive the Rams for giving up that goddamn game week 18 to the San Francisco 49ers. I can't do it. Can't do it.
Like you guys would. Well, I will say this. I think had that happened, you guys probably would have played Tampa Bay, wouldn't you?
We would have played.
Oh, shit. Oh, man. I know exactly who I would have gone for in that game for sure. Oh, yeah. Not even a doubt in my mind.
Same thing, regular season. We kill them. postseason, it's a different animal. But still, it would have been see what would.
But there were, like I say, and there was questions. There was legit questions where, you know, the promise of this team was okay. We got Matthew Stafford. We traded Jared Goff away. They had no choice but to win the Super Bowl. It didn't matter that they were in the hardest division. It didn't matter that, hey, there might be more talented teams than they are. It didn't matter, that they might have to travel on the road. This was harsh because the expectation for the Los Angeles Rams last year, it was literally Super Bowl or bust. And there was real conversations that had they failed to not make the Super Bowl or win it, Sean McVay's looking at the hot seat because you give up our future and we get nothing in return.
Yeah.
And there was a part of me that made me believe that, oh my God, that once I saw the 49ers were going to go to the NFC Championship game, that alone put me in a state of shit. Now, I did pick the Rams. I want people to remember this. I did pick the Rams. But trust me when I tell you this, there was a little part of me that was like, yo, this is not good. This is not what I think was like. Oh no. Oh no. Especially in that first red zone turnover, I was like, oh my God. This is not happening. But kudos to the Rams for beating the 49ers. And kudos to the Rams for beating the expectations that everybody was saying that it was going to be impossible. And now here's the problem. The Denver Broncos are doing the same thing. And literally, you don't make that type of trade if it's Super Bowl or bust for the Denver Broncos. The Rams are starting a trend here. And people are not even realizing what kind of trend they're starting.
Well, I don't know if it's the Rams. I would say maybe even Tampa in a sense.
Yeah, I mean, these
picks, but Tampa started this when they got Tom Brady, where they were just.
But this is the difference. This is the difference. Tampa Bay drafted that team, and then they signed the free agents.
Yeah,
and then made Super Bowl contenders. The Rams are just saying, "Fuck them picks." F them picks. Give me Matthew Stafford. Give me Von Miller. Let me sign OBJ. There's a difference. It's like they're putting their future in, which is fine. I appreciate that 100% because if that means winning Super Bowls, then you did your job. You did your job.
Yeah.
So, in the end, the Rams were the best team in the NFL. They proved it by winning the Super Bowl. And now it's time. It's the ultimate question for me and you. Brandon, how much confidence do you have in the Rams to run it back?
I don't think.
Like, let's put it this way: on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you at right now?
With them winning the Super Bowl?
Mm-hmm.
3.
Oof! Wow.
Because I think they're like easily they could get out the NFC. I think they could get out the NFC easily. But depending on the teams, because I gotta keep saying that to myself. Depending on the teams and how they look, because we just automatically assume the NFC just sucks. But after the draft, we shall see how really these teams will shape up. But when it comes to the Rams, I got them maybe coming out the NFC, but even that is kind of like they still gotta get out their own division first. And that's what we're forgetting too. Like Arizona still wants to depending on whatever happens with the Kyler Murray situation and everything, Arizona is going to be there no matter what. San Francisco the same. I mean, depends on Jimmy Garoppolo, but they're gonna be there. So you still gotta get out of that division, out of that situation, and then you still got Green Bay. I know it's a joke. I know we're picking for them tonight, but Detroit can still make some noise depending on what they do in their draft. you still got the Saints, you still got Minnesota, you still got Tampa, you still got some teams. So yeah, you can get out the NFC, but then you still got the AFC waiting for you, whoever that is. And they just went through grueling playoffs. They want to win just like you do. And I think that that's kind of where this gets a little bit, like we said last night with Cincinnati. We could see a rematch. And this would be a different conversation if it's a rematch, because I think Cincinnati could have beat the Rams the first time around.
And it was close. I mean, it was really close. And that's the thing I want people to understand. Like the Super Bowl, listen, the Super Bowl could have, it was a tale of two cities. It was literally a tale of two games that felt like 7 in that Super Bowl. The first game was the Rams are going to destroy the Bengals, and they were. No answers for OBJ, no answers for Cooper Kupp. It's like, dude, this is bad. It was getting to a point where I was just like, I think the Rams are going to take this. Then OBJ goes down, and then here come the Bengals, and I'm like, yo, now this is a different game.
Yeah.
Then somewhere in between that 4th and 1 failed conversion, that 4th and 2 failed conversion, and the Rams getting the ball back in their own 45, the momentum changed at that point. The momentum changed. The momentum fell all Rams, and they were just like, you know what? The Bengals gave it all they had. And you know what? The Bengals, at least I can say this much, they went down swinging. They went for it on 4th when they didn't have to.
And
I can give them that much credit that the Bengals went down swinging. The Rams were just the better team that day.
And I think that because here's the thing, they haven't really signed Odell Beckham. So I don't really see the same results this year around like last year.
Me personally, right now where I'm sitting at and what the Rams want to do in, the third, their first draft pick, what they want to do. Right now where I'm sitting at, my confidence of the Rams coming out of the NFC is about a solid 7. And the reason I say solid 7 is, yes, you're right. We don't know where a bunch of these teams are at talented wise. Now, I can always go to the Saints in the defense, but do I trust their offense? Do I trust their offense enough to make it up? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, well, the Rams beat them. So Tampa Bay is only getting worse.
Yeah, they're old as hell.
So it's like, do I feel confident in them? Now, is Arizona a legitimate threat if they're healthy? Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Arizona, we have to stop pretending like Arizona is not a legitimate threat. We have to stop pretending like 8-1 didn't happen. Like, it happened. They were the best team in the NFL.
By the way, if DeAndre Hopkins doesn't get injured in that Rams Monday night game, who's to say where Arizona goes?
If Arizona stays healthy, and we can't predict injuries. We can only hope that injuries are going to happen. We just hope that it doesn't happen, at the wrong time. I wish there was a setting to where we can turn injuries off and let's just play. But unfortunately, it's a grueling game. It's a physical game. If Arizona stays healthy, and let's say the 49ers, everything patches up where Deebo Samuel stays, everything is kumbaya, the 49ers are still looking there. Tampa Bay, I'm not going to count out Green Bay just because they lost Devontae Adams. I'm not. I'm not.
I am.
Somehow I have this weird feeling that Aaron Rodgers is going to make it work. He'll make anything work. It's easier when you have Devontae Adams, but when you're a great quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, you'll make anything work.
I think because we saw him do it on a Thursday night game against Arizona, we're like, well, yeah, it's Aaron Rodgers. We expected that. I don't.
No, I'm not going to count out Minnesota. I'm not going to count out the Lions. The Bears, I don't know yet. I don't know yet. I have to see what they do. And I'm being honest. I have to see what they do. I want to see how much faith they do have in Justin Fields and everything.
Yeah, true.
And then we got to go to, again, the NFC East. We keep talking about Philadelphia. We keep talking about Dallas. What if I don't know. What if Washington hits, and what if Carson Wentz goes back to that MVP form, and and Washington looks different, and what if that defense returns to that was a couple years ago? So I'm gonna give the Rams a solid 7 because that's a lot of ifs. And the Rams are the only team I know that can just pull stuff like this off. And I have a feeling that they could go back. I'm gonna give them a solid 7 that they can run it back.
And as what I think them going back, I would give a higher grade, but winning it is kind of like that's why I kind of get stumbled in a sense.
I think it depends on the AFC team
That's
because
I think if it's the AFC, it depends on the AFC team because
do I think they can beat the Bengals again?
no,
I don't know. That I would love to see that.
and
I
like
would love to see that. I think America wants to see that rematch because it was such a fun Super Bowl, you know?
and I think because like we said, Odell Beckham was torching him.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, Odell Beckham wasn't in the game, and they kind of did hold Cooper Kupp kind of solid for a while before he got going. So
exactly.
And I don't think Allen Robinson is Odell Beckham. That's what I'm saying. Like
he's not Odell Beckham, but Allen Robinson is still a good receiver.
He's good, but he's not Odell Beckham. Where to the point where
of course,
scrambled. Like your defense look like, what the hell are we doing?
Of course.
So that's.
But I will say this: it all depends. Do I think they could beat Cincinnati again? I would love to see the rematch. Do I think they can beat the Bills? I don't know.
Yeah,
that would be kind of interesting to see.
Yo, I think they could actually beat the Bills. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, I would love to see it. I would love to see it. I think they could beat the Bills.
I don't trust.
Do I think they can beat? Do I think they can beat the Chargers? I don't know. That's a little different. Do I think that? Do I think they can beat? I don't know. Let's name another AFC powerhouse that's out there.
Indianapolis, the Colts.
I think they could beat Indianapolis. I think they can get them.
I don't know.
I think they can get the Patriots.
Yeah, they could beat. Well, I don't know about that one.
I think they could get I think if they were to play the Patriots again right now, I think the Rams can get the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
I don't know.
I know it's Bill Belichick, and I know you never go against Bill Belichick.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I think they can do it. I think they can do it this time around. I think Sean McVay learned his lesson the last time. I think they can. Let's see if the Broncos go all the way. Do I think they could take the Broncos?
Yeah, I think they could beat the Broncos.
It would have to be really close.
It'd be a close game, but
it'd be really close.
They would beat the Broncos because they know Russell Wilson. That's the thing. They know.
Yeah, Russell. And that's what I'm saying. It would be close. And that's the thing. That's why I give it a solid 7 because it all depends on who the AFC team is. Yeah. I think they can get through the NFC. It's just it all depends on who's the representative for the AFC.
I don't think they have a problem with the NFC. That's what I'm saying. I think because I don't think Tampa's really that. Tampa's not that good, and people keep trying to because it's Tom.
But that's the thing. I think you got to give him a chance because it is Tom Brady.
And I get it. It's Tom Brady, but Tom Brady's 45 years old. It's only so much you can do. It's only we literally saw it in the playoffs. It's only so much this man can do.
And the man almost did everything to beat the Rams.
He literally almost did everything. Okay. It's only so much he can do. Aaron Rodgers in the same damn boat. It's like it's only so much the man can do.
I get it. No, I get it. But I think it's going to be interesting to see how it works out for them. Now, like we mentioned, there was a lot of changes in this team. There was a lot of changes in the locker room. And, again, and that all goes to the cap space. And, this is where I think it does hurt them a little bit this offseason. I think it was a little bit more cruel to them than last year. Von Miller, he's now heading to Buffalo to help the number 1 defense in the NFL.
You have to laugh at so. That's a cruel joke on us. Buffalo had the number 1 defense.
They got Von Miller to improve the number 1 defense. Anyway, Darius Williams, the Super Bowl, the playoff hero, really. I mean, he was, all over the playoffs. He's heading to Jacksonville now. Austin Corbett, the guard from Nevada, who was their starter week 1. His rookie year, and he developed into one of the better guards in the NFL, is now heading to Carolina. I thought he was going to come here because I thought he would want to come home, but yeah, it happens. It happens. I wish him the best though, because he's an amazing guard. I mean, I saw him, I saw him up close and personal, and I knew how good of a guard he
I,
was going to be, and I'm so happy
I
he
wish
turned out to be what I think he was.
I wish him the best too. Welcome to my division. You got to protect Sam Darnold. Good luck with that.
Now, Sebastian Joseph, he's going to be in LA. He's just going to wear the other LA uniform. It's going to be the Charger now. He's going to wear a Charger. Johnny Hekker, the all famous All Pro punter, is now heading to Carolina as well.
Ooh.
So, and you know how good of a punter he is. Johnny Munt, the tight end, he's heading to Minnesota. And Troy Reader is also heading to the Chargers as well. But I'm not going to say that the offseason was all bad for the Los Angeles Rams. I mean, look at just these names alone. Look what they brought in. Riley Dixon, a great punter from the Giants. They're probably their only best spot in the New York Giants organization was that punter. Like, I'm being dead serious right now. Like, that was probably their special teams was probably their only bright spot. And I know that feeling.
I do, because Joe Judge is a special teams coach.
And I know that feeling when Sebastian Janikowski and Shane Lechler were our two best players on the Raider rosters for years. So I know that feeling, okay? Allen Robinson, look, he's leaving Chicago. He's finally leaving Matt Nagy. Thank God. I can't tell you how many times I pray for this man. Not because nothing's wrong with him. Not because he's dying or anything like that. But because I want him to go to a true quarterback and see how he really does. And I'm glad, my prayers have been finally answered. There is a football god up in the sky. I think there are football gods in the sky.
Did he get screwed or what? Jacksonville draft you, and then you have to play for the Chicago Bears with Matt Nagy and Mitchell Trubisky throwing you the ball.
This is the true ultimate statement. Patience is a virtue, and I'm so glad he's heading to Chicago, or he's heading to the Rams now. And then we're not even talking about their prized possession. Bobby Wagner, the last member of the Legion of Boom, is heading to the Rams. And, he was on the Rich Eisen show a couple days ago, when Russell Wilson told him, hey, man, come with me to Denver. It's going to be great. I'll command the offense. You command the defense. It's going to be great. But I think I know why Bobby Wagner chose the Rams.
Really?
Unfinished business.
Yeah.
Unfinished business, and why not? And there's no coincidence why Earl Thomas and Bobby Wagner said the things they said. No coincidence whatsoever.
Earl Thomas is just like, fuck them Seahawks.
And understand, like, he came on the news today and he's like, I want to make a comeback. And somebody asked him, like, hey, man, if Seattle's willing to give you a contract, would you go? He goes, I'd rather go back into retirement. Understand that Pete Carroll loves you until he throws you away. That's the Seahawks organization. They'll love you until they use you, and then you're gone. At least when Peyton Manning left Indianapolis, Jim Irsay had a podium or got a special press conference and was crying. But he knew why he had to do it. See, there's a difference when players of that type of status leave and they're like, we're so sorry that you left, but I understand why. Hell, Jordy Nelson got a tribute when he came to the Raiders. Like, he even got a tribute from Green Bay. Pete Carroll was like, yeah, sure, whatever, man. You can go leave. That's fine. Well, I don't even care anymore. You're washed up. Go ahead. Get out of here. So in the end, where am I going with this? I think the Rams can walk out of the NFC again. I think they can win the NFC Championship again because I don't think there's really a legitimate threat this year like what Tampa Bay had to go through last year. And I don't think there's really any big-time decisions that any NFC team made that made anything better. If anything, they just got worse. So I don't think there's a legitimate threat. So I personally believe they can. And I still personally believe that they can run it back. We talked about this a couple episodes ago. Why doesn't it work? Well, one, money. Two, it's, camaraderie. But, I mean, really, the Rams have a formula, and it seems like it's working. So why wouldn't it work again? So that's the way I'm going with it. Now, you might have a different opinion on it, but, I mean, that's where we have to agree to disagree. But overall, I think the Rams season was a success. Clearly, no pun intended. It was a success, and it's going to be exciting to see who they open up the season against because I think that's not going to set the tone, but it's going to set the minds of okay. Let's see how they really handle the pressure of okay.
America's team.
I think they get Dallas too. I mean, I know
America's team is Tom Brady. I was gonna say Tampa.
well, I don't think they get Tampa Bay week 1. I think the problem is since they're going to play Dallas this year, I think, and Dallas is the away team, they're going to put Dallas on the
Please
opening
don't.
schedule again. Is be like,
Oh my
oh, it's
God.
all about the ratings, and yeah, it is. But I do
Listen.
not want to see the Rams beat the crap out of the Cowboys in week 1.
This is
Okay, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. NFL, I do not want to see that.
Yo, this is gonna be the first season. That'll be the first game. Everybody's like, "Yeah, Dallas is not doing a damn thing this year."
I don't want to see that.
Dallas.
Don't want to see it.
Listen. This is the first time if I'm Jerry Jones, I'm like, no, I don't want to play on Thursday. Not here the season opener. I don't give a damn about your ratings. Just save my team some embarrassment. Like I don't.
But that's the thing. The NFL is all about the ratings, so of course they're going to put the Cowboys on, and it's going to be like,
oh my God, Jerry Jones better quit.
Jerry Jones better call the schedule makers. Like, hey, whatever schedule you have, just make sure I don't have week 1. I don't have Rams week 1,
which we got to talk about, by the way, because the schedule will be out May 12th.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we also know they got 3 Christmas games this year.
Correct.
So we got to talk about that. We're going to have to do a schedule release show.
I think we could do that on the same day, too. I think, if anything, we could probably try to do a live reaction show or maybe a post show and talk about, what games are we looking forward to and everything. Now, I will say this. I am a little scared because I do want to go to New Orleans this year. But the problem is you guys have a London game and you're considered the home team. And we play you guys. So I'm just kind of like, if they go to London, I'm sorry, dude. I'm not going. I'm sorry. It's just I can't do it. I'll just take that money to Tennessee.
Listen, I think if they play Dallas on Thursday night football to open up the season, Dallas, I'm so sorry that you're gonna get your ass whooped like that.
I think that would be the first time that we'll see America's choice, and it'll be 100% Rams. Because I'm voting Rams, to be honest.
I'm voting Rams like 30 times. I'm like, Dallas has no O-line.
I'm gonna go to all my computers in my office and their little cubicles and pick Rams just to make sure they get to 100%.
Oh my God! If they have to play Dallas Thursday, oh my! Dallas be like, really? Why us? Why? What did we do?
I think it would be cool if maybe they put Denver, Seattle. I think it would be cool if they put the Chargers because they do play the AFC West this year. That way, nobody has to travel anywhere.
It would be. Oh, if they play the AFC West, then that means Rams and Kansas City.
Maybe, or why not the 2 teams that only brought the Super Bowl to Los Angeles, the Raiders and Rams? That'd be pretty fun.
That would be intriguing.
The old LA champs versus the new LA champs.
Oh my God, the Raiders it'd be the Rams opening season and they'd be raising a banner, but it'd be all Raiders in LA.
That would be the first time I ever see it. That probably might be the first time I see a championship banner and it'll be booing.
They're like, who gives a shit?
And best believe I will be there. I will be there if we open up Thursday night.
Oh my God. They don't want to do that. No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh, NFL, do not give that.
Oh my God, don't do that.
Do not. Please. Tell him, Brandon. Tell the NFL, do not give that gift to me.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Abort that mission. Abort that mission. It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
I think there's a lot of better games that the NFL can do. I just hope if it's Dallas, it's gonna be like, oh my God. Well, it's not if Dallas is gonna lose. It's how much is Dallas gonna lose by?
Listen, last year they caught Tampa Bay by surprise because I don't think Tampa Bay really knew what Dallas was gonna do. If the Rams play Dallas the first game of the year, oh my God.
It's going to be, how much is Dallas really going to lose by is my question. That's where I'm at with the NFL schedule.
Yo, it is so bad because it's like, oh my God.
What did the Dallas Cowboys do to deserve this?
Oh my God, that would be so bad.
But, or, I don't know what the Rams schedule is, but if they play Cincinnati this year, let's
Hmm.
do it. If anybody can look up the Rams schedule right now and see if they got Cincinnati,
Hey,
hey,
we got Rams on the live. I mean, Steve might know.
anybody out there, please find out if you guys play Cincinnati. Because if you guys do, oh my God, I am so voting for that one. I would rather watch that. I would rather watch
You know,
at SoFi.
now
Oh,
I'm
I
kind
want the rematch.
of thinking. I kind of want to see Dallas versus Rams. I just want to see how bad Dallas looks this season.
Oh God, don't even joke like that, dude.
Yeah, you you kind of have to look at it. You gotta.
Don't even like think like that. That's
I wait
terrible.
for Sunday night football to watch the Rams whip the hell out of Dallas. I'll let her see it right out the gate.
Oh God, I
Give
don't
Dallas
wanna see
fans
that.
no hope.
No.
I want to see
Good
Stephen.
God.
I want to see Stephen A. that next day just going crazy. And Skip Bayless on it's just
Undisputed.
what,
No, no, no.
oh my god, that's
God.
beautiful. Oh wow.
Oh my God. But we'll see how that goes. We will keep you guys updated. But anybody knows the schedule of the Rams, please throw it out there.
Oh,
All right. Now, it is time with all the laughs and with all the hours that we put in this show. It is time. It is time to announce our final pick in our 2022 NFL mock draft. So here we go, Brandon. It is the last card of the night for Mr. Roger Goodell.
getting booed out of the stadium.
Vegas crowd is ready. And by the way, Vegas is going to be popping on Monday. I'm already telling you that right now because they just announced here in Vegas that the governor of Nevada, and Mark Davis are going to they're going to do the Welcome to Las Vegas sign.
Mhm.
It's going to be, welcome to the NFL draft, and they're going to have it in silver and black. So it's going to, yeah, shit's already going to be popping on Monday. So
Okay.
just in case, yeah, just in case you guys wanted to know, if you guys are coming, get here early. That's all I'm saying. I don't have to worry about it because I'm just down the street, but whatever. Anyway, here we go. So, Brandon, here's the last card. Who is the last pick that's going to round up the first round of the 2022 NFL mock draft?
All right. For the 2022 NFL mock draft, the 32nd pick, the last pick of the first round, the Detroit Lions will select Treylon Burks, wide receiver, Arkansas. I think they gotta go receiver. Listen, I picked two quarterbacks this mock draft, and I still would not pick a quarterback for Detroit at the end of this damn round. Reason why is like, if you didn't pick a quarterback with the second overall pick, why would you do it at the 32nd? I don't understand it.
Because I think they could get one in the second round.
You could have just picked him at the first pick you had. You could have just picked the quarterback. Because if you pick a quarterback in the first round, that's automatically a problem for your starting quarterback, regardless. At least without like Pittsburgh, I don't trust Pittsburgh. I don't trust Mitch Trubisky or Mason Rudolph. Tennessee, I've seen enough of Ryan Tannehill to know he's got a goddamn ceiling. I know he's got a ceiling. We've all seen his ceiling. But Detroit, you still got something. And you like you just said, one, they can pick a quarterback in the second round if they really want one. I mean, Desmond Ridder will be right there at 34 if you want him. Like, he's right there. So it's just but me personally, go receiver. Treylon Burks, he fits that offense. I think, like you said, when you picked him for Kansas City, he doesn't pop off the tape off the screen, maybe in the combine, but when you put him in a game, it's like Calvin Johnson. He wasn't fast at the damn combine. He was just.
Our first grade, thumbs down. Treylon Burks. I think he just doesn't want. I think he wants him in Green Bay. That's why. I think Mike wants him in Green Bay and not in Detroit again.
Green Bay Packers, but you didn't. Listen, Treylon Burks. I think Treylon Burks fits in Detroit. I think he does. I think they need, as great as Brown was last year, they still need a one. And he's 6'3". Brown is 6 foot. They need a bigger receiver to take a lot of that pressure off of him.
Of course.
And Brown fits more as a speedier guy, and Treylon Burks is more of that possession receiver. So I think that kind of complements each other. So I think Burks fits perfect in Detroit.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you know me, I like Traylon Burks. I really do. I have him going to Kansas City for obvious reasons because obviously, well, Kansas City needs a new wide receiver now because everybody else is on a 1 year contract. It's a perfect spot to take a quarterback. And you know what, Mike? I get it, man. You texted me. What am I doing? And I'm like, I can't tell you until the show. Brandon, remind the beautiful folks that are watching this show and that are going to watch the show later. How many quarterbacks have I taken in the first round in this year's draft? Go ahead, throw it up there.
Zero.
Okay, that is a donut, ladies and gentlemen. But here we are. Here we are.
Oh, he's got the quarterback. I don't believe it, but okay.
We're at pick 32. And like I say, dare I? Dare I? And look, there's lots of reasons why I can go quarterback here. Number one, you need a backup. You're not going to play him right away, but you need a backup. Number two, the Lions don't have to be financially committed to Jared Goff. So if, he has another mediocre season, hey, you can cut ties. You can go with your rookie quarterback next year. But you're not going to play him this year. And three, you need butts in the seats. You need people to believe that the future is in there. This is where I come in. This is where I come in. And you know how much I love my Detroit Lions, man. Don't mind the Raider banner back there. Understand, I have a lot of pride. I have a lot of friends that are Lions fans, and they're so proud of that team. They love that team. Right? That's love, man. That's love. They love their Lions, man. Okay? And I get it. I understand, Mike. This is a perfect spot to take quarterback. Why? Because I have all the best quarterbacks, all the first round quarterbacks everybody expects to go sitting there at 32. Why would I not take a quarterback? The reason I'm not taking quarterback in this draft class, because they will be playing in the CFL, XFL, and USFL in 5 years.
Wow.
So, oops, looks like my camera went off. I guess they said, no, man, you're not disrespecting me like that. But anyway, but it's okay. You know why? You know why it's okay? Because they know I'm right. Because I always bounce back. I always bounce back on this. So, with the 32nd pick in this year's draft, I believe the Detroit Lions will select Jahan Dotson, wide receiver out of Penn State. Now, don't get me wrong. I could have gone George Pickens here. I could have gone another defensive player. I could have done this. But I believe it too. I think they need another wide receiver. And I think they need another speedy wide receiver. I think they need another big guy. I think they need another speedy dude. And listen, Jahan Dotson's not the biggest dude in the world. But let's be real. He wasn't really never given a shot at Penn State until this year. Because understand, other players, other wide receivers that he had to kind of go behind, that he had to play behind with. A lot of good receivers coming out of Penn State these last few seasons. He really didn't get a shot until this year. This year, 91 receptions, 1,182 yards, 12 touchdowns, 12. He's a third team All Big Ten in 2020. Nope. Mike says, nope. You just do not want any wide receiver in the NFC North right now. He's like, nope. If I can't have the best wide receiver, nobody can. But, first team All Big Ten in 2020. Here's my thing about it. When I look at him, there's two people that come to my mind right away when I see his film. I see a little bit of Emmanuel Sanders, and I see a little bit of Deontay Johnson. Same mold, same explosion, and can take the top off the defenses. I mean, really think about it. 4'4", 40, 36-inch vertical. It's pretty tall. That's pretty good hops for a guy who's only 5'11". It's pretty good hops. 12 feet 1 inch on the broad jump, so he's exploding right off the line of scrimmage. and he could beat press. In his longest one, he averaged in his whole time in Penn State, every catch was literally 15 plus. So yeah, he can beat the man. He can beat press. He can beat everything. 7.2 cone drill. He's got the agility for it. So overall, especially exactly right. Lions will not be financially committed, of course, but I just do not see a quarterback in this draft class where I can look at the Lions and be like, "Nah, man, you're not going to be the franchise guy." Now, if they have another bad year and they end up in the top pick again, okay, depending on the quarterback class looks next year, I say they wait. Sure, they could take their chances on Desmond Ritter. Like Brandon said, they could take their chances on Carson Strong, a Matt Corral, a Sam Howell, players like that. Hell, maybe even Malik Willis drops. Who knows? Who knows? But do I want to find out right away them? Because remember, you don't want to end up like Green Bay in this sense. You take the quarterback and then you find out he's not ready to go. Because then you have to be committed to Goff at that point. I think that's the difference. If they take a quarterback, he has to work out. I do not see any of these quarterbacks working out for Detroit. I just don't.
Especially in the first round, because that contract is so binding.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, if you want a quarterback, just wait till the second round where the contract isn't as tight.
Exactly. And it's cheaper. It's cheaper. So for me, I go wide receiver too. I think they need help on the wide receiver end of things. And listen, I think Treylon Burks would be perfect. I think Dotson would be perfect. And if they really want quarterback, listen, Desmond Ritter's going to be there. Carson Strong's going to be there. Matt Corral will be there. Hell, there's even quarterbacks outside of that. There's that quarterback from James Madison, Gacy or Gassy, whatever you say, however you say his name.
Gacy is good. Gacy is really good.
Okay, there's also that quarterback from Western Kentucky, who's got the power arm and everything. There's also
two games. He had like over 500 yards passing.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So I mean, understand this. There's options at quarterback, but I just do not see any of these quarterbacks being franchise guys.
Yeah.
Like, okay, do you have your franchise quarterback for the next 12 years? I understand, because last year when, Tampa Bay was at 32, I had him taking Trey Lance, and it's like, but why? The difference is Tom Brady, we already know what Tom Brady's at.
Tom Brady.
And Trey Lance, I mean, let's face it, if Trey Lance were to come out in this year's draft class, he'd be the first quarterback taken. Let's be real. Like, let's be really real about this. He'd be the first quarterback taken. So, again, I just do not see a quarterback worth taking in the first round. But that's me.
I mean, hell, if Trey Lance came out this draft, Christian Watson would probably be way up there too.
Mm-hmm.
Might be
That's just me, though. That's me. And, I can't make but here's the thing. I know there's going to be a quarterback taken in the first, but I've seen this story before. When you're desperate for a quarterback, majority of the times, it doesn't work. Doesn't work. Ask Buffalo. They did it twice. They took J.P. Lossman and E.J. Manuel in the first round. How did that work out? Because you're desperate for a franchise quarterback.
Hell, ask Tennessee. Jay Locker. Didn't have to take him. You still took him. Don't know why. But you took
Ask Minnesota. Christian Locker. Like, really? Like, understand. I get it. Sometimes when you're a franchise in distress and you need a franchise guy, I understand where the desperate comes in. But don't you think you want to build your team first before you get your franchise guy? I mean, if you're going to suck, that's one thing. But don't you want to draft players that are really, really great, suck, and then get your franchise guy? Look how Cincinnati did it. They drafted the right guys. Then they got their future quarterback. Then they said, okay, he's our future. Let's get him weapons now. And look what happened. Understand, build your team first before you get to the franchise quarterback.
And they already had them weapons. Like T. Higgins and
Tyler Boyd, all that
Tyler
stuff.
Boyd, Joe Mixon. They had the weapons. They just didn't have a quarterback.
Now they just have to fix the offensive line, which they kind of did on yesterday's show.
I mean, we kind of
So-
figured that out yesterday.
So understand where I'm coming from. I do not think that the Lions should be in a rush to draft a quarterback. If quarterback is their need, then wait till the second, wait till the third. Build your team. Build your team before you get to that point. And who's to say that Desmond Ridder, Carson Strong, Matt Corral aren't those dudes? That, hey, maybe they showed something in training camp. You play Jared Goff for a year, and then you do what you got to do, and then you see what you got, and then, hey, who knows? But listen, sometimes it doesn't work out, and I think that's where teams have to understand. I know you're desperate for a franchise QB. Doesn't mean you have to rush in to the first pretty girl that you see. Scope around. Take a look. It's okay. It's okay. Listen, you draft them now, you're still gonna suck. But now the pressure is like you got to build her. You got to quickly build, because now you're giving yourself a time lapse of, well, I only got 2 years to improve, because in today's NFL, if you're not winning right away, you're fired right away. So take your time. That would be my only advice to these NFL franchises. But they get paid millions. I don't. And I know somebody's going to take a quarterback, and I'll be like, well, I hope he works out. Because then we're going to look at it like, oh, you probably could have had, I don't know, you could have had Derek Stingley. Oh, look at that. You probably could have had Chris Olave. Oh, look at that. You probably could have had Tyler Linderbaum or Kenyon Cross or Charles Cross or Kenyon Green and, stuff like that. But no, you're desperate for a quarterback, and now you're stuck with him. Good job. Good job. So that's that's what I got. That's all I got for this. So we'll see how it goes. But other than that, that's a wrap, folks. That was our last pick in this year's draft. So Sunday, we have our super mock draft special with everybody involved. We will do it here, and then we will also do it on an Instagram Live. If you have not been following the Instagram Live, please follow All Sports Talk Podcast. That's where we will have it at. We will also, next Wednesday, the night before the draft, me and my brother, we will reveal our final mock drafts for the Raiders on a special edition of the Silver and Bro Show, just to see what he thinks the Raiders are going to do with their picks that we do have, and where I'm leaning towards. So that's going to be exciting. And then next Thursday's the draft. We will have a reaction show Friday morning. So I know Brandon's excited for that. We will have a reaction show. What was our favorite pick? What was our oh my God pick? And what was the worst pick? Don't let that be you, Detroit. I'm counting on you. I'm counting on you, man. But other than that, I just want to take this opportunity to thank everybody that tuned into, not just for today's episode, but all episodes, all the 31 episodes. The comments, the laughs, the joys, the tears. Well, tears of laughter. But, it was very fun to dissect this draft. I cannot wait to see how it ends. I cannot wait to see how it all unfolds next Thursday. And everybody on Instagram Live, thank you as well. Everybody on YouTube Live, for that like, subscribe. Please share this to your friends, to your family, so we can try to get bigger and try to do more fun stuff here. Until then, I'm your good old boy, JR. That has been my host, Brandon, for season 3 of this mock draft. That is a wrap, folks. We will see you guys on Sunday for our draft special. I want you all to have a wonderful night. Please take care of each other, and we will see you guys soon. Peace.